in that same season, I know you lost someone very, very dear to you as the Washington family and the University of Miami family dealing with the tragedy of Sean Taylor. What did he mean to those programs?
He meant a lot, man. I mean, Sean, it's hard to talk about him and just because, and that it's great to just keep his legacy going. Like, I love the fact that we talk about him so much because I feel like he's like one of those players you be like, what if? You know what I mean? Like, we understand a lot have changed in our game, but if you really saw who he was becoming, what if? Mm-hmm. Like, what could he have been? You know what I mean? And I really think the demise of our team was because of Sean gone. He roamed that secondary. He put fear in everybody's game plan, man. You know, if Sean Taylor back there, people coming to the game a little different. They gonna scout a little different. Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot we lost, man. But to be truthful, you know, I didn't share that time with him in Miami, but I can tell you that everybody who was there in Miami, who knew of his play there, they felt just like we felt in Washington. You know, I was devastated. I think in a lot of the ways that I live today is because of having to experience that. Like, I really, man, if I can't sit here and just put a pinpoint at something that I was doing at the time, but I was frightened to do anything that I wasn't doing right after Sean, you know, left us. And one, because I was able to sit there and share a lot of, you know, intimate moments with him outside of us being on the field. We shared and conversated or conversed, I shall say, with each other a lot. Just sitting there in the training room. We was both dealing with injuries that year. And I recall that same week that those guys broke into the house the first time. We talked about it. I sat there and the advice I gave was like, Sean, let that be. But we know Sean. He was like, nah, man, you know, he felt violated. He felt like if I was there, was something else would have been happening, you know, would have happened. And I'm like, yeah, but
I didn't know that was the second time. I didn't know it was the first time.
They came back. Yeah. They came back. They came back.
Same people.
Go home. That's what made him go home when he wasn't supposed to go home or something like that, right?
They came back, and the only reason why they came back is because they knew he was in the season, and they came for a safe. I don't know the whole story. I'm gonna give you what I know, but all I know is that they was there for a party that his sister or someone of Sean, you know, Sean family threw a party, and she showed him around, and she showed him something that they weren't supposed to see. So they came back for that safe. Wow. Sean, first time they came, the party was over. They came by themselves. They didn't get it. The second time, Sean ended up being there, and that's how, you know, the situation happened. But just to get back to your question, he meant a lot, man. And I think, you know, I tried my best for the remainder of the time I played as a pro to allow Sean to play through me. I know this might sound crazy, and, you know, people looking at, man, tell me what you're talking about. Look, that was something that I put on the table. I like, look, you know, when I prayed every, you know, game going into that end zone, I got on that knee. I wanted Sean to play with me because he, you know, just knowing that his presence was always felt. Like, I felt like walking in the locker room. You got to think, me, Sean, and Portis. Our lockers was next to each other. Me, Sean, and Portis. Like, we was boys. We would talk. That weekend that he left us, me, Sean, and Portis was the last person in the locker room. Sean wasn't coming. We knew he was going to Miami. We was going to Tampa. Yeah. He told us to go out there and have a good game. I'll see y'all when y'all get back. You know, so it was devastating, man. But, you know, you can always find a silver lining in things, whether it's good or bad. And I felt like it woke a lot of us up, honestly. I really, truly believe that my game changed a lot. The things that I took for granted changed a lot. And I had more of a purpose, just knowing that life is short. And I always knew it was short, but it really showed me that. Just this guy had a promising career ahead of himself. And beyond football, I saw changes in this man as a man. Sean wasn't going out with us. We had a weekend in D.C. called the Three Kings. Yeah. Portis. So let me tell you how we came about it. Portis, myself, and Sean, we all from Miami. And I didn't even know the reason why we made this thing, but Portis realized that his birthday is the 1st of August, Sean's birthday is the 1st of April, and my birthday is the 1st of June. So we all like, shh. And Portis made this thing, Three Kings. We all gonna have a weekend where everybody and their mama would come worldwide. and they would come and party and celebrate with us. Sean would never show up. And if he did show up, he showed up on the last night. And he barely would hang. He'd show his face, but he was changing as a man. He stopped hanging. He stopped doing all that crazy stuff that we heard early in his career because he had a new purpose. He had a daughter, baby Jackie, and he wanted to be a better father. And the things that people talked about Sean in the paper, it was very hurtful to hear some of those people talk about him the same way when he passed. Because if I recall, was one reporter said, well, the person that we know, for what happened to him, it was almost something that we will assume that would happen.
Wow.
You know this man. How could you put that on somebody, And it took me by surprise, but then again, I wasn't surprised because I understand a lot of people that cover us don't really know us. They covering the game. They see how they see the violence that he played with, the recklessness. They see, a couple of instances that he had where he spit in somebody's face and the case that he caught for someone stealing his ATVs. All that stuff basically proves who you are, I guess. You know what I mean? In a world that we give people 1,000 of chances, you know what I mean? So we're going to just judge you because of what we saw or what we heard. Yeah. And I think he left here, and gave a lot of people that right to give him a bad rep. But guys like myself, guys like Portis, guys who really knew him and played with him, and the coaches that coached him, I'm glad that we are able to keep his legacy on and have these talks that we're having today about it.
Well said. Well said, man. Sean Taylor was I was a fan and an enemy at the same time, because anytime we played Miami, Florida State, Miami, we used to always go into the week, man. Don't help this man get drafted higher than where he should go.
Oh, man.
That's always said.
Oh, man.
And this man used to always pick six, knock someone out, block a punt.
Oh, yeah.
And oh, man. And so, but heck of a football player. And like you said, the what if that tragedy never happened, where is he when you talk about the elites of the elites, not just at his position, but in totality of all positional players in National Football League?